Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the final 24th secret unlockable character in Mortal Kombat 1's roster. But I want to know your guys' thoughts down below. Do you guys even think there is a final character? Does it exist? And if it does, who do you guys think is going to be the final character for Mortal Kombat 1? Obviously, Reiko is going to be next, but who is going to be our final character? Drop it in the comments right now. If you guys are new here and you want to more of this Mortal Kombat content, make sure to check out the channel and subscribe. We are almost to 7,000 subscribers. That is an insane number, and it is a number that I have been dreaming of getting for a while. 7,000 is just such a cool number. Speaking of 7,000, over 7,000 of you guys voted on the poll that I put on my channel. If you guys want to participate in those polls, you can also hit that subscribe button where I asked you guys, who do you think is going to be the final character? I gave you 4 selections and we'll talk about each one during this video. So let's get into it. Now, personally, I think it would be super cool, very funny, very iconic if our final character was the creator of Mortal Kombat himself, our icon of a video game producer and director, and that is Ed Boon himself. I think it would be amazing if we got to see Ed Boon as a playable character in Mortal Kombat. I think it would be hilarious. I think his fatalities would be awesome. 21% of you guys voted for this out of the 7,000 on the poll, and I think it would be a really cool final character. Obviously, it's probably not going to happen. The chances of this are very low, but I think adding Ed Boon as the final character would be so funny. It would just be so funny. I get why people would want something a little bit more serious. I mean, especially if it's an unlockable character, you probably want it to mean something a little bit more or be a really cool character. But for me personally, I would love to see Ed Boon. Somebody in the comments was saying that Ed Boon should have a fatality where he opens up like a notepad or something and is just directing what the fatality would be, and it just gets over the top and it just keeps going. Like maybe they pour gasoline on them and then a scorpion spear comes out of nowhere and drags them down and they get all bloody, and then a car runs them over and then they blow up, and then Melina comes in and chomps on their face, and then Katana's fan slices them in half, and it just keeps getting crazier and crazier, and then Sector just blows them up, and then eventually they're just a pile of meat and bones. And I think that would be a very funny fatality if Ed Boon was ever to be included in the Mortal Kombat 1 roster. I think that this would be a great DLC character, but I think if they did this as our final character and it was a secret, I think it would be a very funny moment in the Mortal Kombat game. Moving on to the characters that actually make sense and are actually possible, most of you guys actually voted for Chronica. Out of 7,000 of you guys, 42% of you guys voted for Chronica. We did get to see her in that cinematic. I have seen some people saying that could be Shang Tsung playing as Chronica, but I do think it's very possible that Chronica is going to be our final boss again. I think I could totally see them doing that. I just don't like Chronica that much, honestly, and she wasn't playable in Mortal Kombat 11, but I think if they're going to add her in Mortal Kombat 1 as a secret character, they really have to give us something good. So most of you guys thought that this is going to be our final character. I think it makes the most sense out of anyone. But for me personally, I think I'd rather see a different character rather than Chronica. I'm just not a huge fan. I like her design a little bit more in this game, but that being said, I still think a different character would be better. Honestly, I would rather take Ed Boon over Chronica. I feel like NetherRealm knows the backlash on Chronica, so I can't imagine that they would add Chronica as our final secret character, but it does make the most sense. So it's going to be interesting to see if they do add Chronica as a playable character. I'm very interested on what her moveset would look like when she's not a boss character and when she actually has to have like the in-depth look of a playable character like the other characters do. I'd also be curious to see what her fatalities would be, because we don't know what kind of powers she holds in this new universe. She could have a totally different power moveset, so it's going to be really interesting to see if Chronica is our final playable character. Out of 7,000 votes, 24% of you guys also voted for Onaga to come back as the final Mortal Kombat character for the roster. Now, if this is a final character for the roster and they want to keep it hidden, I totally get it. I mean, this is a big bad character, and if this is going to be our big bad in Mortal Kombat 1, I think that that would work really well. I think it'd be very cool. If they are just going to hint towards him in Mortal Kombat 1, that's totally cool. I'd love to see how they design him in a modern Mortal Kombat game as well. I'd love to see how he plays in a modern Mortal Kombat game as well, just because it's super cool to see these characters. We just saw Nitara this past week, and you know, characters with wings and doing air combos is really, really cool. And seeing a beast like Onaga in the sky doing air combos would be super, super cool. There is a couple of theories going around that Onaga is possibly General Shao's father, considering that he has horns now, like built into his skull. So there's a theory going around about that. But you know, either way, I would love to see Onaga return with a lot of his 3D era counterparts. I mean, we got to see Li Mei again, we got to see Nitara again, and a couple of others. So I think it'd be really, really cool if they completed that with a 3D era bad guy being Onaga. I would really love to see this character in a modern Mortal Kombat game. Lastly, out of 7,000 votes, with the least amount of votes, 14%, voted for Hanzo, the original Hanzo Hisashi, coming back as our final character. Now, this would be really interesting, and there's a few different ways that they could actually do this in the story. If this is going to be our final secret character, I think it's a really cool character to be our final character, because a lot of people are upset that Hanzo is not our Scorpion in Mortal Kombat 1. It's actually Kuai Liang. But so what happened to Hanzo? Well, I did a theory video that Smoke is actually Hanzo. I did a theory video that Hanzo is actually going to become Noob Saibot. And if that's true, I think it'd be really cool if Hanzo was a remnant of the past universe who slipped through and became this demonic figure of Noob Saibot, and, you know, is taking over and getting, you know, revenge again, I suppose, in this new timeline against Liu Kang. But I think seeing Hanzo again would be really cool. Maybe he was lost in time and he's kind of like immortal now, and he's been training for years for this fight. I think that would be a really cool story moment as well. But either way, I think seeing Hanzo again would be fantastic. Honestly, he doesn't even have to be this demonic figure in this one. I think it would be really cool if Hanzo was just a normal ninja guy who's protecting his family, who finally has a happy life with his family and his wife and his kid. I think that would be really cool for the Mortal Kombat story as well, because we haven't seen Hanzo as a happy individual in a very long time, and I think it'd be really cool if we did get to see a version, especially with this new universe, of Hanzo Hisashi being a more happy person than we have ever seen him before, because his family is still alive. I think that there's a couple of different ways that they could do this, but you know, either way, I would love to see Hanzo as our final character. If Hanzo was our final character, I would be super happy. If Chronica was our final character, I would be fucking annoyed, because I hate that bald bitch so much. Either way, I want to know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. What do you guys think? Do you guys think any of these characters are possible? Out of these four, who would you want to see the most? Personally, like I said, I think Ed Boon would be my personal favorite, because I think there's so much that they could do. Like moveset wise, maybe Ed Boon just copies everyone's moves. Like maybe he has a katana fan, maybe he has like a Shang Tsung skull that he can shoot out, maybe he can do Scorpion Spear, maybe he can do an ice slide. Like he's just like this culmination of all the Mortal Kombat characters. I think that there's a lot of opportunity there, but I want to know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. If you guys are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you guys like what I post, we are almost to 7,000 subscribers. Almost there. We are super close. We have like 50 subscribers left. We are getting there very soon, and then it's going to be the road to 8, and then 9, and then that final 10K, baby. We are almost there. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a good day, have fun, be respectful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.